Okay, so it's half time in the England vs Slovenia match, and it's pretty much the same thing. But before we start this podcast, I just want to say happy belated birthday to Lionel Messi, whose birthday was yesterday. And like we say about Messi, there's probably nothing else left to say about him. So yeah, just thank you for everything, Lionel Messi. And this podcast is going to be about England. And if you've watched the first two matches of England, and especially the Denmark match, there's big problems. And we're going to start with Trent, because we're going to try and go through the whole team, or as much players as we can, because I think the match is going to restart in a bit. So let's start with Trent first of all. And all those people that were saying that Trent should play in midfield, can play in midfield, has to play in midfield, is a midfielder, etc. So let me just adjust myself in my chair. I think it might have been mainly Liverpool fans, and you're always asking yourself, why can he play in midfield? And I think something that Gary Neville's been saying, there's a reason why he's playing at right back, because he did start off as a centre midfielder, I think, even in the Liverpool youth ranks. So just because he's a good passer of the ball, it doesn't mean he's going to be a good passer of the ball in midfield. For example, in Liverpool, a lot of the time he's moving into the space or receiving the ball in space when other teams are pushed back. And if you watch a lot of clips, you'll see a lot of the time where he's got a lot of space to make those passes. But if you're playing in midfield and you're already in that position, it's more difficult to get that space, because obviously there's people in front of you and there might be people behind you. So like I've put down, the distances, the timing, the space is different, the angles are different, you've got different people to pass to, different, so runners, if you've got no runners, which is a problem in this England team, so your options are difficult as well. So it's too simple to just say, oh yeah, he's got great passing. And even his passing, a lot of people talk as if he's the greatest passer of all time, as if every time he gets the ball, he's got 100% accuracy and he's creating something every single time. He's not. And I feel a bit sorry for him. I'm beginning to feel a bit sorry for him, because even today's match against Slovenia, he's been dropped. And even the previous two matches, I'm not sure when he got subbed against Serbia, but I think in the Denmark match, it was around about the 54th minute when he got subbed. So what is that doing to him? What is that doing to his confidence, being subbed that early in a match, and then today's match being subbed? And like I said, I don't blame him. Southgate said that it's an experiment to play him in midfield. So you're going to, I think, your 8th or 9th year in charge of the England team, and you're experimenting with Trent in midfield. You're going into a major tournament and you're experimenting in midfield. That doesn't even make sense. So like, it's not a good look, because you should know what you're doing. And it's also about relationships as well with players. If you're just putting Trent in midfield, I'm not sure even how many times you could count in his whole career. I reckon he's played about 300 senior matches. How many times has he actually played or started in midfield? I can't give the numbers, but I don't think that would be very many. So you're building relationships in a tournament. It's very difficult. And then, like I said, it's not Trent's fault. Don't blame him, but people need to understand it's a different ball game. It's like saying John Stones can play as a CDM. It's probably different, and obviously for Man City, he goes into that position, so it'll be probably different if he's in that position already for him a little bit. So these kinds of things, you just have to think a little bit about them, in the sense that Just because he can do one thing, it doesn't mean he can do another. The same thing in a different position. It just doesn't make sense. And especially in a tournament, if he had been playing in midfield for England for like say the last year or something, and they were trying to like that bring him into it, you could have understood. But yeah, that's something that you don't know. Liverpool might start playing in midfield and he might become a world-class midfielder, but he certainly isn't a world-class midfielder, and he certainly isn't the best right-back of all time, and he certainly isn't the greatest passer of all time either. So like I said, don't want to be too harsh on Trent, but hope people just realise just think about what you're saying, and just, it's a bit more complicated, than just saying he's a great passer, so what he can do in that position, he can do in that position. But yeah, let's move on from Trent a bit, and we've still got a lot of other players to focus on as well. So you got Foden and Bellingham as well. Bellingham was looking a bit leggy, and I don't know what England are trying to do, in a sense of, it looks like they've got different profiles of players, and they're trying to say, all right, he's good at this position, we're doing that, we'll put him there, and another player's good as well, so we'll try and put him there. But it's not going to work, because all these players, I think, have got a different mindset or the way they see the game. Because I always say there's what you can do, there's what you want to do, and there's what you need or you're supposed to do for your team. And I think like even countries like Spain, if you look at like a country like Spain, even not the top teams, even if you probably look at teams like Valencia or Villarreal or even the lower kind of teams, if you look at, okay, what are their midfielders like, there's probably very similar to the top teams, in the sense that obviously they might not have as much quality, but they want to do the same thing, or they're thinking about football in the same way. Whereas I think if you look at the England team, like, alright, just say for example Liverpool, and then you've got Trent, bringing him up again. Since they've had Klopp, they haven't been playing like a possession game really. Whereas you've got Man City, is Pep Guardiola, so they play a totally different way to Liverpool. And then you look at, say, Arsenal are a bit similar to Man City, but that's only in the last few years. And then you've got Man United, who are, well, let's say Ten Hag, when he's got his players fit, maybe he will be trying to do the same thing as Man City and Arsenal, but they aren't certainly doing that now. And then you've got Aston Villas, and also you've got all these teams, and even if you go through the whole league, you've probably got so many teams that want to play in a different way. And then, like, even Declan Rice. Let's bring up Declan Rice quickly. So Declan Rice was at West Ham, and I'm not sure if he was a youth product there, but he's been at West Ham and now he's gone to obviously Arsenal. But even his mindset isn't like a Rodri's mindset. If you think about the way they want to play the game, they're similar positions, but the mindset just seems like totally different. Like we say, if you have players like Iniesta, Modric's, the Xavis, the Toni Krooses of this world, and even like look at Pedri, like a young Pedri, like at the moment I think Pedri is about 21 years of age, but even they want the ball in any situation, whether they're winning or losing. They will not go hiding as a midfielder. They want the ball, they want to control the game, they want to receive the ball, give it, they want to take that responsibility. In England, it doesn't look like there's any players who want to control that game, and it doesn't just come down to one player either, because you could put a Rodri in this England team and he might want to do or play a certain way, but then he needs players around him who are going to make those movements and make those angles to receive the ball as well. If they don't want the ball, he's got no options, and then obviously his life becomes harder because he's going to get pressed. And so it's not just about one player, it's about the mindset of the whole team, and even the national squad, and even the country in England. Just the whole way football is looked at and viewed here. And a lot of these players like Bellingham, it doesn't look like he wants to, I'm not blaming the players. I just think like everyone has a nature. Certain players, well, all players have a nature what they want to do. Like if you look at Harry Kane now, he doesn't want to run in behind. There's what he might want to even run in behind, but don't think he physically can do it. Bellingham, I don't think he wants his team to have 70% possession. Whereas if you look at Foden, Man City, he's comfortable with that, having the possession. Even Foden, him and Saka have got they've got the physical attributes to make runs in behind. But I don't think that's their natural game, or that's what they want to be doing for 90 minutes. So you put in different people who want to do different things, and not even in their natural positions. So it's hard to get that synergy and that, like, just the free-flowing football. Whereas if you look at other countries, especially I think Spain are probably maybe the best example, there's a way to play, and there's a way all players want to play or kind of acclimatize to that system and are fitted into a certain way of playing. Whereas in England, it just looks like it's pretty much the similar story you had with Scholes being put on the left as well. And even just thinking about Trippier, he's a right-footed left back. So even the runs that he's going to make down the left are going to be different to what a natural left footer would make. And sometimes it doesn't matter if you've got the exact same quality as the player, but I think it matters about the profile of player. Whereas if the same thing is going to be happening, for example, if Luke Shaw was playing, I'm sure they'd be bombing down the left a bit more, and his angles will be different. So Foden could probably move into different positions or make different passes. But so even if you had a player who's left-footed but not as good as Shaw, you could still make the similar kind of runs. You might not get the exact quality, but you'll get the same kind of, the system would be the same, the idea would be the same. So, like I said, we started off with Trent, but it's not necessarily just about him. It's about Foden, Bellingham. You've got a player like Foden, he wants the ball to feet, but even if he's coming from the left-hand side, he's moving the ball into different positions than he would be doing if he's at Man City. So you're asking players to do things that are not natural, and you can't just easily say, yeah, but they're technically good enough, but they're good for their club team. And even then, you look at England performing, and everybody's always saying Premier League is the best league in the world, the best players, the best stadiums, best everything really. But then you watch them against teams, even like Denmark, and you're thinking, how can these 100 million plus players not pass the ball, not even look like they want to receive the ball, and then not wanting the ball and not having an idea of what to do, and things just don't add up, and it's a shame to see. It really is. And then what else have we got? We've got like the England players then being criticised in the press, I think, by Alan Shearer and Gary Lineker mainly. And then I think it was yesterday or the day before, then Harry Kane and Rice coming out in the press and just talking about the players should know what it's like to wear the shirt and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, your performances were really bad. And even Harry Kane was saying he's 100% fit, but he doesn't look 100% fit. So you have to be able to take that criticism, especially if it's the performances. I think it's pretty much unanimous. Certain people say it in a different way, but I think everyone's quite agreed on that. The performances are very, very poor, especially the Denmark game as a whole, especially. So you are going to get criticised. And Harry Kane was saying, I think, that they need confidence and people need to give them that. But I don't think it's the press's role to give the players confidence. I think that comes down to the management team, the players themselves, being honest with each other. And if you're not playing good, you don't have to lie to yourself. You can say, listen, we're not playing good. I mean, we know what the problems are and we're trying to solve them. But if you need confidence, the press are not there to give you confidence. That should be the managers doing that, the management team. That's their role. And obviously, if you're not playing well, it's difficult to give you confidence because you're not going to be confident if you're not playing well. So, like I said, just take responsibility for it. Just come out in the press. And obviously, they're athletes, so they're going to be hurt. And that's a good thing, I think, because it shows you care, obviously. But, people are not criticizing you for no reason. There's a reason you're getting criticized, and people are well within their rights to do so. So that was just a bit of England, and like I said, it's astonishing just to see all these players not look like a team. Even if you're watching Slovenia now, you probably don't even know like 99% of their players, but you'd say that, all right, these players look like they're playing at their limit. Whereas in England, you always feel like the players are not playing to their full potential. Pretty much everyone. So just trying to think, how should they play? Do these players want to play possession football? Do they want to be like Spain and have 60-70% of the ball? Can they do it? And it's about pressure as well, because if you look at somebody like Foden, Bellingham, Saka, Rice, you'd say, all right, these are all good technical or very good technical players. They can control a ball. They know how to pass the ball. But it's not just that. It's like you say about Iniestas and Modric's. They want the ball in any situation, winning, losing. They want the ball. They want the ball. And these players, it looks like maybe they want the ball at certain times, but they don't want the ball when times are tough or when you have to see the game out, and you see the game out with the ball. I don't know if any of the midfielders are like that, because like I said, I don't think Bellingham's a midfielder, like a natural midfielder. He has to have space to roam. Foden plays a bit advanced. The young kid, I think, is Adam Morton from Crystal Palace. I haven't seen too much of him in terms of whole matches, but from the clips and stuff I've seen, he looks like a player who wants the ball at different angles and wants to give it, receive, give it, plays a lovely rate of pass, and looks like somebody who will just stay there and can control the tempo, because passing, and a lot of people, even with Trent, they say he's a great passer, but passing isn't just about, you do a 60-yard crossfield pass. It's about controlling the tempo. Certain times of the game you need to speed it up. Certain times of the game you need to slow it down. Different kinds of passing. Short, long. Just because somebody pings a 60-yard ball across field and it reaches his teammate, is that a good pass? If his teammate has to control the ball on his chest, bring it down, and by that time he's being closed down, is it a good pass? What is a good pass? For me, a good pass is something that helps your team or teammate out, possibly makes his decision for him. It's not something that it's just gone from destination A and he's reached the destination B, and now my teammate has to control a ball like that's 5 foot in the air, bring it down, and then restart again and slow the whole game down. So we have to think about things not just on the simple level. We have to break things down a bit and really see how things, just not in a singular way, but how do they fit in to the bigger picture. Even Trent the other day, people were saying he's taken off Kane and brought Ollie Watkins on and stuff, and Trent's off the pitch, whereas that maybe could have suited Trent, So it's a big puzzle, and I think England have probably had it for a long time, in the sense of what do players want to do, what is the team identity, and like I said, it probably goes a bit deeper than just the England team, but we'll see how it goes. I think France, Portugal, Germany, and Spain are on one side of the draw now, so I'm not sure what the score is in the other match, but if England finish top, it looks like they'll get the easier side of the draw, so to speak. So we'll see what happens in this match. Still 0-0 at the moment. Yeah, anyway, just wanted to get some points across about that, because it is a very interesting subject, and you can go very deep with it because there are a lot of problems. But anyway, hope everybody enjoying the Euros. I think it's been a pretty good tournament so far. I think it's been quite open. Like, even if you're a neutral and you're watching matches, I think most of the matches and teams have been going for a win or been quite open. I don't think any teams have been like parking the bus, so to speak. It's been but let's see. Let's see how it goes into the round of 16s is first, and the last few matches can get tricky when some teams are going for the top 2 or best third place finish. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go back to watching the match and enjoy the rest of the tournament, and we'll be back soon. Thanks for listening. Take care. Goodbye.